Good morning and welcome to the Women's Nest. Oh, this counter is dirty. Sorry, squirrel brain. I'm off to a doctor's appointment today. I'm so miserable for it. I get to go to the gynecologist, so yay me. I always get super anxious, right? This is the Women's Nest, so I don't feel weird telling my fellow women about this. And everyone has a different point of view on it, right? So for years I'd be like, oh my God, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to. So up until today, this morning, because it's in 20 minutes and I'm like, what can I do to delay the inevitable? I freak out, super self-conscious, right? That's my thing. And then I thought about it this past week and I'm like, this doctor probably sees 1,000 vaginas a week. Mine is not memorable. I just texted Ryan that I don't want to go to the doctor and he said, so don't. Why can't I have that? No, because I know going is what's best for me, right? Future cancer issues, if we have them, right? So here's my TED Talk. Go to the doctor even though you don't want to. So took a quick shower this morning and still don't want to go. So now I'm going to talk to you guys and tell you, you ladies, and tell you today's reading. And my coffee's brewing and I really don't want to go. But I need to go, right? I need to go. I haven't gone in a few years because, I'm like, well, I'm in menopause. Don't need to go. I'm just lying to myself, right? And much like, if you're an alcoholic addict, we lie to ourselves that we're not doing it to anyone else, it's doing it to ourselves. And this is the same parallel, right? Like, I'm doing this to myself. But in reality, if I don't get this stuff checked out, I could eventually be hurting someone else, right? I could be leaving my family behind, and it could be preventable. I'm not saying I have anything. This is how I have to talk myself up into, you need to go. Get uncomfortable for 30 minutes and you'll be fine. And plus there's things that I do need to talk to my doctor about, right? Like there's things, postmenopausal things that I need to talk to my doctor about. So yeah, schedule that appointment if you're just like me. And you'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. But I had to do it, right? We have to take care of ourselves. I don't know about you, but for me, I put me last a lot of times. And putting me last is not beneficial to a lot of people. Whew. Sometimes I just have to talk it out, right? Sometimes that's all we have to do. To keep looking at the time. Shit. All right, reading. February 10th. Loving means moving my ego aside and letting my higher power send energy through me to others. We commonly hear in 12-step meetings that ego is the culprit in our experiences, but what does that mean? Isn't having a healthy self-image the same as having a strong ego? Nope. Not exactly. A strong ego is not necessarily a healthy one, but how can we tell the difference? Ooh, I need to remember that, right? I talk about this in meetings, and I got to keep this short, so I'm not going to get into it. But at one point, my ego saved me from going back out to drinking. Was that a strong ego? Or was that loving myself and putting my ego aside? Right, like you can get real deep into that. Perhaps the best way is to look at our behavior. If we are trying to control others against their will, the unhealthy dimension of our ego has taken over. Backing off, letting that person be directed by a higher power rather than by us, enhances the good feelings we have about ourselves. That's how a healthy self-image is developed. Woo! Yes, right? I don't run the show. So if I'm thinking I'm running the show and I'm trying to put my spin on things and dictate the narrative, then my ego has taken over. my will has come back and taken over the show, right? We talk about it a lot, that do I do things that are ego driven, or do I do things that are to help someone else, right? In my home, I've struggled with some of that, and I'm not going to get into the details of that at all. But people around me know that there were things that were going on that, while some of them may have been ego driven, right? This is how I want it to be. And for a while it was that way. But I've since, I guess I'm going to say it, let go, let God. But I've since said, okay, this is where I can help, right? Not that I know that what's best for someone all the time, but I can know what's best for them in certain situations, right? So I can provide them with information. I can provide them with my point of view. So I've given them the information, but I haven't forced it on them, right? To me, that's a healthy ego. And that's something that, it's not linear. I'm not going to say, oh, I do it all the time. I'm perfect. What I am going to say is that when it does happen, I'm aware of it. And having awareness is huge to being able to correct those things, right? Soften the edges, not do it as often. Or if we are doing it, we can pause and be like, oh shit, I'm getting ready to take control of the situation. And I'm a control freak, so it's hard. And oh my gosh, I saw my mother this weekend. I know where I get it from, people. But that's it, right? That's being aware of it, right? I'm aware of it. And when I said that thing about my mother, we both joke about it all the time. So it's not like I'm talking shit. Because again, I'm not going to talk about other people without their consent, right? Like if my mother and I were out in a dinner with distant friends, right? She would say that. And then I jokingly would say that too. And then I gotta go, but I have another funny story that I'll probably save about my mother, like losing all this stuff, and Ryan like looking at my stepmother like, oh shit, it doesn't get better. I am my mother's child. And I never thought I'd say that. But here I am. So, all right, take care. Talk soon.